Wow. This is the first major update wave I've seen on Cougar in like 5 years. Welcome everybody. Josh RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Keystone. Taking a look at a lot of stuff. They pulled in like 30 RVs for me. And Cougar has made some serious updates. A lot of it is cosmetic, but there is some smart equipment tweaks and changes here. But this feels like a very polished Cougar. I don't know that it has felt this good to me for about 3 or 4 years. Like, they have not only just made this thing look really good, I feel like they have paid some serious attention to some factory processes to really dial in some fit and finish. This 25 RDS is among their most popular units, period, and has been off and on their single most popular, fastest selling travel trailer out there. But why is that? Well, because it packs about 12 pounds of sugar into a 5-pound sack. We have a 70 by 80 king bed up front. We are 0 to 110 degree rated, tested, and proven. The underbelly is enclosed, forced air heated, has holding tank heaters, radiant barrier, but also they have individual force air heat lines directly blowing onto each individual holding tank. So they're doing a little bit more here than a lot of brands. It's second air capable. It comes in right about 30 foot. It can work for some half-ton towing, situationally dependent, but it also gives you really good counter space and a lot of open living area in a 30-foot package that provides like a lot of privacy, but it also has that mega rear U lounge that not only can convert into a big seating area, the table's free floating, you can take the table out and make it just a wide open wraparound lounge if you're gonna have a bunch of friends over for game day, bucket go boom, but it could also fold down into a large guest sleeper. So if you have a sometimes guest that isn't usually with you, this is a dynamite model right here that is just really heavily equipped. I like it. I like what they're doing. Now, I would love to ask, first impressions, the new look of the outside, this new look of the inside. Basically, Cougar had been rocking essentially the same look for close to 5 years with very, very little change. And they have seen so many people in the comments section having what I'm going to call farmhouse fatigue. People are getting a little tired of some of the white cabinetry. Some people still like it, some people don't. And historically, Cougar always had a warm brown decor. And I think they kind of want to go back to their little roots here a little bit, especially with the kind of cosmetic update that they've had across the entire Keystone family. And they wanted a little bit of that warm camping experience, but it's and certainly some people aren't going to like it. I get it. But I think by having the color contrast and how a lot of your upper stuff is still lighter in color, it doesn't read as super dark and oppressive to me. But that's just me. I will tell you, my wife's like, hey, what colors do you like? I'm like, you do it. Men have the Crayola 8-pack of crayons in their head, and most women have like the 72-pack. So I just leave that up to her, you know. I just learned to say yes, dear, and we're still married. 15,000 BTU centralized air, and this is prepped and ready for a second air if you are so inclined. Now, look at the size of this rear wraparound dinette and the fact that that's a totally free floating table. If you wanted to get that table out of the way, you could easily use this space as just a wide open rear lounge, and it makes the whole RV look and feel very large very quickly here. Now, I like how they still included some storage overhead right there. I don't think I'd use those overhead cabinets a lot, but the RVs, like, even though it could give it bigger windows, they always look a little bit blank and barren when they don't include something like that. Now, something I like that they did over here is they gave us a choice. You have either the wide open love seat cuddle compliance that we saw a second ago, or the population control here. And either way, you still get the dual wall hugging recliners. What they did here in the middle, though, I like. I've got cup holders. I've got, holy crap, tons of power solutions on this. It looks like we have light functions. Oh no, we have heat and massage built on this. Okay, cool. That little massage thing's one of those. I don't think it's like, whoa. But like, sometimes it's just enough. It's just kind of nice, you know? Working our way around here, you might notice the blackout roller shades. You'll find those on pretty much every window except the main entry doors, but you will also notice that they do include the bottom-up privacy shades on both the entry doors, which I have fully deployed here. It's also nice that they do include one for the bedroom. It is absolutely mind-boggling to me how many RV builders will give you a full window, easy viewing full window in a bedroom or bathroom with no privacy. The one space you really want flipping privacy, they sometimes won't do it. Never made sense to me. Big old TV right here. 40 inch. I guess that's not massive by today's standards. Historically in the RV industry, that was a big old TV. So normal smart TV right there. A lot of brands who make this layout, though, do not offer the electric space heating Tootsie Toaster. Now, that does mean that they have more storage by comparison, but I think as we go through here, you're going to see that this thing has pretty darn good storage space. Now, the campsite window coverage is not amazing, but it's better than most 30-foot RVs with a slide. Now, remember, I do have the window in the entry door closed currently, but when you're sitting down, you have decent viewing over here. I'm not saying it's way over the top, especially because they went with larger overhead cabinetry over here, which shrunk the size of that window under the cabinetry, obviously. Now, this TV, by the way, can pivot around. Keystone, Cougar, has largely moved away from their smart command systems and have gone back to just a physical switch panel. And I'm all about it. Because I don't care where I am, if this switch for some reason fails, you can go to like any RV parts store, anywhere. Get this thing super cheap off the shelf, and you do not need an electrical engineering degree to replace that. You don't have to wait for a freaking firmware update through the interwebs. This is also your new, this is your main cabin light switch. You'll find another of these like in the slide, I think in the bedroom as well, but this is also a dimmer. There's just down up switches, and they show you how much you have going on at a given time here. So I think that was a cool update. I'm looking here, and I think that's a dead wasted pocket above the microwave. Those are the little things I'm like, but I don't know. I guess I could, it's not the end of the world. It's small, but like at least, I mean, I could use it to like put bread up there. It's not nothing. I'd rather have it open instead of wasted myself. The converter space down there below the oven, that should be very easy to access in travel mode. Spinning our way around over here, we do have a full dedicated vertical pantry over there in that slide. This is a AccuSlide floor flush kind of system right here, which they looks like they went with the choice of pushing the refrigerator in the pantry back a little bit. So keep in mind, you don't want to give yourself a visit to the Concussinator 9000 slide fascia beam there. Like I said, I'll tell you good, bad, ugly. Apparently, Casper the Ghost visited us. The moment I hit the record button, he decided the freezer needed to close, but okay. Weird flex, but okay. All right, here we go. They have maintained the larger 10 cubic foot fridge freezer. And again, this pantry right here, because they slid it back a little bit, it's not so deep that you can't reach it. So there's advantages and drawbacks both to having the fridge and the pantry slid forward or back. It just sort of depends on what you prefer and what you're looking for. I don't know. Given your choice, what would you rather see? I'm just kind of curious. I don't know if they'll change anything unless they get some overwhelming feedback, but it's always good to ask, you know. I like the location of the power outlets over there, kind of that little sort of coffee bar, big old wide open space for a wastebasket. I appreciate that kind of stuff right there myself. Plywood drawers down to the floors, ladies and gentlemen. From the counter to the floors. This Cougar's got some drawers. And on the other side, over here, we don't have power outlets in the wall. We have them just below the countertop there. Because with this being a laminated wall, you can't really do that. And they know that people don't really love power outlets under the overhead cabinets. So they don't put them there. Now, the TV can pivot like crazy. I didn't realize I pivoted it too hard. It's on a double swing arm pivot. I should have swung it out further because we're actually missing just a little bit of it on the right side there. But hey, that's my fault, not Cougar's fault. They actually did provide you the bracket to not do the stupid thing that I did, but doing stupid things is what I do. It's kind of like one of my signature tangents here. Story time. While we're taking a look at this walk-through middle bathroom right here, my family took a trip down to Universal Studios in Florida. We're getting ready to ride Velociraptor roller coaster. We are big-time roller coaster park hounds. That window does not open for air. No, it does. Oh, crap. Okay, cool. I'm glad it does. All right, anyway. But we get on there, and I have a family of 3. Wife, daughter, me. And a lot of times I'll let my wife and kid ride together. So I'm often with strangers, and I talk to people. You know, it drives my wife crazy, but I do. And this, I don't know, 19, 20-year-old kid. I'm at an age where I don't know if you're 12 or if you're 20. And I'll continue the story while you're taking a look at the space around this porcelain foot flush stool and how much room there is to stand in this shower with the upgraded Oxygenics shower head. But back to my story that you don't care about. I said something dumb to him. I don't even know what I said. And he's like, you know, my English, not so good. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're all just here having fun. I don't care. You probably speak English better than I speak your native language. And thanks for coming to our country with your tourist dollars. You're doing us a favor. So I just kind of think about it and I just go, I say stupid thing. And he just looks at me and I go, yes. And he just starts laughing. We had a wonderful time. That's how you make friends. Anyway, again, dual entry doors with full privacy shades. Notice again, if you want to fully block that off, you very easily can. Some people don't like entry doors into bedrooms. I'm not trying to argue you out of that. I do want to let you know that you have the same deadbolt door here that you have in the main living area. It's also a neat little thing like Cougar in Montana. Some of your more premium Keystones are doing, including these little kind of, oh my God, rugs. Like there's a word for that. Entry rug, shoe, like you scuff your feet up. Oh my Lord, did I just have a stroke? Why can I not think of the words? Isn't there a word for that? Okay, we're going to move on from there. All right. Back to the task at hand. 50 amp service. We are 50 amp standard on these, by the way. Cougars are not 50 amp optional. So it is every single Cougar trailer like this will be, every 25 RDS will be prepped and ready for a second AC unit. If I remember right, over here around the corner, yes indeedy doodly, we have our TV hookups, which a lot of times when you get a sliding wall straight across from the bed, they won't give you that. I like how they still left this partition here and made that capable. Again, that light switch with the little dimmer button right there. These fire safety egress or whatever kind of windows, these open for crazy airflow, by the way. If a lot of people I've found don't know this, but you go like that, there's a little notch and it grabs itself. And those are also really handy for some rainy day airflow. Now, pardon me real quick, because they're probably not used to looking for open windows like this before an RV ships. I want to make sure that that doesn't get left there and damaged. Now, it's about to eat the entire frame because I don't like to use the wide angle crazy lens, but this is a 70 by 80 RV king bed. So this is a little bit larger. And I really like how they've enhanced the storage in here the last couple years. Again, tight quarters, apologies, but they are doing essentially all the things I would like them to do. I don't mind lifting a bed up to get to some things sometimes, but I don't want to have to do it all the time. So they made it so I don't have to do it all the time. And I don't have this big black hole of cargo under the bed where things can more easily get kind of lost, you know. Now, pardon me real quick. I'm going, oh, hello. I just little details that I noticed, like where they cut that piece of wood right there, they actually took the time to finish the top of it off. Even though it's under a mattress, and most people while shopping would never look at that. Ooh, that was loud, sorry. That's the stuff I look for. Now, pardon the bedspread in the way. I'm batting 1,000 here all of a sudden. They had these side stands for years, but they just had pockets. And people said, yeah, but I don't like my socks and undies just in pockets. I want drawers. And Cougar said, okay. And some people said, we don't need hanging storage. We need more dresser space. And Cougar said, okay, we'll throw shelves in there. And I think you get the trend. They're just giving people what they want. And I think that is what has made Cougar, not only it's the success it originally was, when they really made their initial splash in fifth wheels, because Cougar is the #2 selling fifth wheel in the history of history, but also what has propelled their travel trailers to success in more recent years here. This floor plan, though, does have an Achilles heel. When you close the slide, You still have access to everything in the RV that really matters, but it's two-stage access. The way that they have this refrigerator position to the left of the pantry means you can very easily access that. The kitchen, the drawers, all the storage, all of your countertop prep space readily available. The AccuSlide system should not be occupied in that seating space in transit. You can leave your fridge packed, your pantry, you just shouldn't be sitting in the sofa. But you don't need to worry about that because you got that big mega lounge in the back of this thing right here if you do want to stop and grab a bite to eat. So back here, it's snacktastic. The front door is where you get your bathroom, bedroom access. Regular viewers were pretty sure I was going to say something else right there. Leave me a comment if you know what I was thinking of saying. Haha, I tricked you. I figured I'd give you just another reference point to the size of those drawers right there, but you can put a lot in this thing. But again, the second door right here, whether it's traveling access or quick pack-em-up access, or if you got to stop, use the bathroom for some reason, or you're doing like a little overnight thing, you know, you can get to everything in this, but it's going to take 2 doors to do it. And that doesn't work for everybody. But that's why I take the time to showcase this for you. So if this is useful, if you appreciate it, subscribe if you're new with us. I'll keep doing it. Hit the like button or don't, and we'll hop outside. Now, when you're RV shopping, most of the time, the salespeople you talk to are going to say it's 6,600 pounds, give or take. You could tow this with any half ton. It's the 8,800 pound GVW and the hitch weight of this one that you have to watch. With this one having that front drop frame compartment, it's already a little heavier on the hitch because there's more meat up there, and it gives you more space for more cargo. So this thing can be a chunky monkey, and it might overpower the hitch weight of many half tons. So it depends on the half ton truck and where you're gonna go. You're gonna go through the mountains, you want a 3/4. You're gonna go 20 minutes across town to your seasonal site, a lot of half tons will be fine, it just depends. Overall, like this almost looks like a travel trailer with a full body paint package to me. It's just, they went to a true luxury fifth wheel, high gloss fiberglass, and that's the difference. And here I have the perfect opportunity to show you. I'm standing right next to an RV that has conventional Phylon. You see the reflection of the lights, how they look sort of like bleh. Now look at them. That true high gloss really captures your eye, but in a way that if you don't know what you're looking for, you're not really specifically aware of. Up top on the roof, you can see that 220 watt solar panel sticking up. It sticks up really high compared to most RV factory solar panels. That was initially unintended. Cougar's bracket supplier for their solar panels ran out of the normal short brackets and had to start shipping replacements that you see right there. And they realized that by lifting it up a little bit, the air panel was getting better airflow and it was actually charging more effectively. So they said, hey, just keep on keeping on, Brady Bunch. That thing works pretty great. Look at the awning on this. Huge awning, speakers on the frickin' roof, which I don't appreciate, but I do like the big awning. The awning does have lighting. I was just dumb and forgot to turn it on. A lot of brands are also now adopting these new steps that have like a little more of a composite kind of step. But what I like is the little holes and slats in them, so more stuff can fall through the steps and less stuff gets flipped into your camper. I kind of appreciate that. Backing up a little bit here. You see on the right-hand side of the screen, that is our furnace, exterior mounted, which simplifies so much in the way of service work. We also have that 60,000 BTU on-demand water heater, and Keystone has silently enhanced their, what do I want to say? Some of their warranty stuff, which I knew was going to happen. When Grand Design went to their 135 warranty, I knew some more brands were going to start doing this. So it's 1 year RV, it's 4-year roadside assistance, 5 years on the tires, and lifetime structural coverage on the what? Structural coverage on all wheels. Well, that's dumb. That implies like there's some kind of like forever warranty on this thing. Oh the wheels, not the tires. I'm stupid. Sorry. The caffeine hasn't hit yet. We use those words interchangeably a lot in our society, obviously. You see the little white flag hanging down? That's your propane cooker hooker right there. Now, the underbelly of this does a ton of stuff that you can't see. It's enclosed. It's forced air heated. They have thermostatic holding tank heaters, so they'll kick themselves on if you flip the switch on. They'll kick themselves on as they need to. They also have radiant barrier layering and a forced air direct heat dump directly on each individual holding tank, which is awesome. Now I'm saying all this, I realize as I stare at the tires, it's just because Cougars have a lot to cover, and I'm trying to keep this clipping along because I've got a ton of RVs. But let's get into the tires. We're TPMS prepped. That's plug and play, that's easy. We have Goodyear Endurance radials. A lot of brands have quit doing those because they're a little more spendy. Arguably, they're one of the better tires out there. The suspension package, though, did you see the red shackle system between the tires? That is the same well, that's an Equiflex, but it's a rubberized shock dampener system that you would find on a big fifth wheel here on a trailer. Travel trailers almost never have an enhanced suspension package, so that's a really awesome, exceptional quality, and I think not only will it give you smoother ride and handling, it will also help keep this RV out of the road. But the red brake drums, this has factory standard anti-lock braking with electronic anti-sway. So there's a lot of good stuff going on here. You can see how we have a rear bumper and the cargo receiver hitch on the back, rated for 300 pounds. Currently, they are using the AccuSlide system, but a lot of people haven't noticed. 2 years ago, the big Cougar fifth wheels adopted rack and pinion instead of cable slides. This year, for 2026, the small Cougar fifth wheels adopted rack and pinion instead of cable slides. I don't have confirmation of this. I'm estimating there's potential that next year, or who knows, maybe even later this year, these travel trailers will also adopt rack and pinion instead of cable slides. Again, I do not know that for certain. That is just me guessing based on the fact that if they're making the effort to, now understand too, that almost requires essentially like rebuilding an entire RV, and they make it look the same as it always did. A slide change like that completely changes structural elements of the entire RV. So that's a major undertaking. That's why a lot of brands just won't change. What? Why? Why do they do this? Am I drunk, or wasn't this model a single-headed sewer monster in the past? The models that I'm looking at are the very early 26, maybe just before production runs. So maybe this was an oversight. Maybe something changed I don't understand. I'm shocked they don't have this all cross-plumbed together. Now, this RV does have two separate gray tanks. You have one for the kitchen, one for the bathroom. And if you look at the spec chart, that's part of the reason that the gray water capacity looks so out of control compared to everything else. This normally has power stabilizers. Today we're looking at it with the optional auto leveling package. So that's yet another thing that's more like a fifth wheel that a lot of travel trailers don't offer, that Cougar, frankly, has been doing for years. Cougar has put in a lot of work. I think like this very fifth wheel style enclosed docking center. You've actually got a portable solar prep plug in there as well. And because they put this little shelf up here, it organically separates your cargo from all of your expensive, don't want to break them components. And it creates a little shelf where if you want to put a like fishing pole or something, you absolutely could. Not to mention the fact that is just a massive storage space that I could sleep in if I ever cheesed my wife off. That would never happen. So what do you think of the updates? The overall warmer look of this thing. Did they nail it? Did they fail it? I think we're going to hear a measure of both, especially when it comes to decor items that are very subjective. To help you along the way, I'll leave you some links in the video description where you can see where we have any of these parked, as well as pricing and availability on these right here. And short of that, if there's a certain Cougar model you want to get a hold of, now that, you know, it's at the time I'm recording this, it's early in the season, leave me a note, let me know, and I'll do my best to get that one on the hit list, because I can't always get to every single model that every single brand makes. So you let me know what you want to see, and I'll do my best to make it happen. In the meantime, I've got about 29 more here to go. I'm like drinking from a fire hose is kind of what this is like. So I'm going to get rolling. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.